Right guys, this is where the excitement begins. So my plan was to have 5 videos of the Sphero, starting with this one that I was going to upload all one night after the other and just do a 1 week series of them. But that's not how I'm doing it now. So tonight is part 1 of will the Sphero see over 700 horsepower? Which, let's be fair guys, we all know the answer already. So tonight is the turbo install. Now, I apologise for the quality of this video, and I apologise for the editing on this video. This was actually probably the 3rd video I ever edited and filmed. It was done on my phone. This was back when I didn't know how to change the frame rate on the editing software, so it was still on 45 frames a second before having changed everything to 60 frames a second. Yes, watching the video, I also miss my beard. This chin is just not for me. But here it is, the Sphero's turbo install, featuring a gentleman up north called Scott Miller, sending me some nice parts. So let's crack into this, and hopefully by the time I've got the next couple of videos up, I will have the Sphero back, but you guys will know as soon as I have it back. Enjoy. Alright guys, so we've got something pretty cool here after I have a little bit of a clean up. We have the new turbo for the Sphero, so this wee one can come off, and the 63, 67 can go back on. And so this will all be going back together today, and friend Scott from up north has sent me some nice dress up washers for helping him out with sending some brake calipers up there. So all of our little stock bolts here will be getting replaced with these, and this will be getting put back together today, and it will be going back on the ground. So let's crack into it and get this done. Alright, so we have the turbo back from Wholeset. Been upgraded 63 front, 67 rear. So the aim is that we're now going to go for just under 100 horsepower. So let's get this back on and yeah, put it all back together. That was quick and easy. That's the easy part done. Alright, so the turbo's now on, so we're just gonna... Not a very good extension, this one. We're going to tighten the turbo up first, and then we'll put the return on, and then the feed on, then the exhaust on. So the turbo's bolted on. Joel's just asked a silly question. What was your question, Joel?
How the fuck is that silly?
Am I going to have a low boost setting?
Oh, no. I thought you were talking about the wheel spaces.
Am I going to have a low boost setting? Of course I'm not going to have a low boost setting, because low boost setting is for bitches. We're just going to go straight full power on the street. Fuck yeah. So just doing on the downpipe now. Just gotta get the gasket sitting in the right spot. It's a bit hard to see with the camera in my hand. See it with me. Alright, yeah, so just had to twist this around in the right space just to get all the bolts started. This exhaust isn't staying on here, so we're going to upgrade this to a 4-inch system before it goes for retune. This is just so we can drive it to get the new exhaust, basically.
Not boosting, of course.
Yeah, I can drive the motor. Like, I can still drive around, just not on load. So no big 20 psi pulls or anything until retune, which is fine.
Because this will now push so much more air than the old setup.
Heaps more air.
And running a motor lean is so much worse than running it rich.
Oh yeah.
Running it rich, you're just going to fail your plugs. Running it lean, you literally could blow your motor up.
Which this car's still easy enough to drive without boosting, so. Right, so I've just got one more bolt to do, and then the wastegate can go back on as well. Which is the bolt I stuck up here. The bolt I stuck up here, Bill.
The several bolts that you stuck up
No,
there.
I stuck a 14 or one, I'm sure of it. That one. The one I stuck up there. Threatened so easily. Right, downpipe's on. Just putting the wastegate back on now, just got to straighten it up and shit, so get that all back on now too. Right, so I stopped filming because I was getting angry. Every time I stick this wastegate on a car, it likes to argue with me, but I can't turn the flash on that, just that flange wasn't lining up very nicely, so I've got it on now, so I'll tighten it up, put the lines back on it. Joel's been nice, and he's put all the wheels back on for me, and now he's going to let the back down.
If I can get the fucking jack past these cords.
If he can get the jack past those cords. Right, manifold's back on. Sorry, turbo's on, downpipe's on, wastegate's on. So now we'll do these boost lines, and then I just need to find by gasket all my sealant for the downpipe. Oh, sorry, for the turbo return. So join us back in a minute. Alright, so we update. I got that on. I just need to get that on there. I just need to put that clamp on. Just need to do up this clamp to the intercooler here, and find some gasket glue, and then just put all my vac lines back on. I've put a bunch of oil through the turbo. Well, me and Joel did. So I've just got to get the bottom of that bolt on. I might stick a little bit more oil through the turbo just for shits and gigs, but for she's fucking. Ooh. Keep in mind it's a journal bearing turbo, not a ball bearing turbo. But how amazing is that? And then we're going to stick these on tonight too. Thanks to Scott Miller from up north. I just want to take a moment just to admire how good that looks. Obviousll the zooming in doesn't do much for it, but just how big and good that looks in there. That nice 63mm bullet front wheel. Let's just all stop and admire that for a second. This thing's going to be the machine! Right, so apparently I'm beyond not very good at this filming while I work thing. And I apologise for that. Here down in the dark you can see the fitting. So we're just putting the fittings back on the wastegate now. These are, we just haven't put vac lines on here. So when we've done the Haltech and everything, it's all had braided lines with, I don't know how I can see it because my phone's too flat to put the torch on, but it's all got fire, you can't see that at all, but it's got fire sleeve along the tube, just to help dissipate, help not let heat through to there. Let's just take another second to admire that. But she's getting pretty close to being back together. Just also a quick note of how it all looks. It fucking needs a wash. This car has not moved from where it is for 3 months now, if not longer. No matter how good that all looks, especially with the big brakes on there now. Right, so I've charged my phone up a little bit, so we got to watch. So now we can see the goodness that is the RB30 with the turbo. So these are all our lines with the heat shield and everything for the exhaust. So there's not going to be a huge amount of room for this exhaust when it is 4-inch. So that's something we're going to have to work around. Yeah, there'll be a little bit of room, but there won't be much room. The top of it's bolted on, so it's just the return to go now, basically. So I'm also going to swap those on. Right, so another moment here to appreciate how much nicer this bolt kit looks than the stock bolts. Probably repack my covers at some point too. So turbo is all on. I just need to do the turbo return. Get a gasket or some 3-bond for that tomorrow. I'm going to finish putting these bolts and everything in tonight. And I need to remount this flare and remount the front bumper. And then she's ready to fire up in the morning. So yeah, let's get ready to skip to that. Right, so just going to unplug the trigger kit so that the car doesn't actually start. So crank up all pressure into the turbo. I have tipped oil down the turbo, but we're going to crank some pressure up anyway before we start it. And apparently we're not, because it has a fat battery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my spare battery. I'm going to chuck that in quickly. Alright, new battery's in, so run to it, crank more pressure in. Right. Alright. Moment of truth. Keep in mind, noisy lifters that had been run for 3 months. She's alive again. Listen to her purring out those lifters have lit up.